to the CND as we're about to start lights out, and away we go with a great start. Well, as you can see, Charles Leclerc in pole position. As we now see Daniel on the inside, he is second place today, and Charles on first one to go. He is on the outside, able to apex, and Daniel forced wide here. And what is happening? And there's a bunch of crashes, and Real Knight, the one who won last race, is now spun out by his teammate. And now you can see Racy also in the drama here as we're now approaching these next corners, maybe turn 9 and turn 10. We are seeing Charles still in the lead with a heavy gap between Daniel, and we are now seeing if he can go. He nails the apex perfectly, but Daniel's closing in rapidly. Seems like he might overtake today, and if we're going to do a flyby of this, and we're going to see Charles and actually SpongeBob, and it's actually a yellow flag actually. What just happened there? We don't know. I think it's because of the drama this lap in the first few corners that we have to take hold of this, as many are warming up their tires for this first lap, and we don't know. Maybe green flag for the start finish line. Start very straight actually in Bood, and this is apparently one of the most craziest tracks in Formula racing experience. This is one of the most hardest tracks. This is the track where most crashes happen. But Daniel, he is one of the most experienced drivers here, but Charles, you cannot get by him. He is really defending. And when I mean Charles is the one who's leading right now. So, and it's now green flag for this race. Let's see what can happen now. And now they're both side by side. Charles and Daniel, what is happening? It's actually SpongeBob and Daniel. SpongeBob who makes the lunge first, but it's force wide. They're both force wide, and SpongeBob flipped. SpongeBob is flipped by Moshizo. It is a catastrophic turn of events, and one of the most craziest things have happened. It is also a red flag. What is just happening today? And we can now see that, and we're going to do the replay. We can now see Charles in the lead, Moshizo. You can see that you can see SpongeBob is first wide. He went the lunge first, but then I think it was Daniel that first wide, and then Moshizo just slammed into him and made him just flipped. And we're now lights out, and away we go for this first restart of the race. It hasn't even been 2 laps, and we're now going to see the restart of this race. What is going to happen? And it seems like Daniel and Charles both side by side, and Charles is forced wide. And Daniel is also, he is flipped, and he is now forced wide, and he is now in the back of the. He is now in the back of the grid now. We can now see that Charles and SpongeBob, they're both side by side, but you can see Charles is on the inside. What is going to happen here? They're not really side by side, but it's about a few hundreds of their gap. But Charles is really slow in this corner. Charles hits the apex perfectly. What can happen else here? As Charles is, we are also on board now with Moshizo. They're also Real Knight and Moshizo are also side by side, but Moshizo has to give space because he is the second driver, and you can now on board with Soa. He is right behind Moshizo. He is right behind all of this drama that's happening here today. So what can we see? What we can maybe see today now is a crazy restart. As you can see now, Real Knight, forcing them wide, almost touching. They're both side by side. Who will come out first in the first corner? There's barely nothing to up. There's only 300s, and they're both side by side. But it seems like Charles might get this 4. He's making the first lunge. He's on the inside. What can happen now? He's forced outside, and they're both flipped. They just flipped. They almost got flipped, but it is a racing incident there. It seems like it's going to be an incident. But it seemed like Real Knight was the cause of this. He didn't really give that much gap for Charles. It's now also a safety car for this lap. What just happened there? I cannot fathom what is there. And Moshizo, who is the teammate of Real Knight, will now come to the rescue and maybe reinforce them. So Daniel. Now in the pits, what can happen? And actually, it seems like Charles stays out of this. But it is a opportunity to pit. So I do not know what is he thinking. And actually, Kanyuk's flip. What just happened there? I do not know what just happened there on the pit entry. But it almost seems like it is also a red flag. I do not know. Why is it a red flag? Another restart. Lights out, and away we go. It's the second restart of this race. What is now going to happen here now as we approach the corner? And Charles, Moshizo forcing Charles wide. We can now see Real Light coming to the, he's also the elephant in the room, coming to the drama. And also we see more drama coming here. In the back, Soa and Daniel, what is just happening there in the back? I do not know. But Moshizo forced wide. We can now see Charles and the Real Light side by side. And now we can see Racy also coming there. He's making the gap. But it seems like Kanyuk slowed down here. There's like drama in the back of this corner. This is the second restart of the race. What is happening? And Charles first wide on this corner. He is really unlucky on this corner. He lost places. He is now coming back to win this Grand Prix. He got a pole position today. What can we see? Moshizo is actually leading. That is unexpected, but I do not know how long can he hold them off, Charles and Moshizo. But it seems like if Real Light can make Moshizo flip by Charles, I do not know what happened there. What exactly happened there is some form of, I do not know what just happened there. It is probably a racing incident. Maybe Charles can get a penalty from that. Moshizo force. He is flipped and Ninja destroy. Oh, Daniel hits Moshizo. What just happened there? What exactly happened there? What happened there? Real Light and Charles. It is now a green flag. Lap 11 out of 18. 9 laps remaining. What can happen here? With only actually 6 laps. It's 12 laps. We're at lap 12 and Daniel hits the rear. It seems like Racy brake checked him. What is just happening in 3 and 4? What is happening? And actually, Real Life forced wide, and Charles is defending him. He is putting pressure on Real Light. We can see he is forced to go on the outside, but Charles seems like he has a good advantage here. He is on the inside on this corner, but he has a disadvantage here. He's really slow in this corner. Who will come out on here? Real Light on the inside. He hit the apex perfectly. Charles didn't really hit the apex perfectly. He went on the inside too early. What just happened here? Charles on the inside of the chicane. He's really fast on the chicane. Yeah, he keeps first place. And what is just happening on this corner, on this medium speed corner? He makes a good gap from Real Light. Real Light's really slow on this corner. There's also Daniel hit. Oh, he's forced wide. What can we see here? We're on board with Daniel here. Slowing down. He hits the wall. Daniel hits the wall. He is now. This is really bad. This seems like it might be a red flag or a yellow flag. It seems like this might be. This is a yellow flag here. What is going to happen here now? It's actually a green flag before the finish straight. What is happening? So we can now see the safety car going into the pits. I actually really took advantage. He went on the inside. He's really fast on this final corner here on the last lap. Oh, it's actually not the last lap. This is the penultimate lap here. So what can we see now? Charles on the inside. Tinatan also. Oh, and he hits Kanyuk. Kanyuk forced to go on this wall here. He is forced. He almost hits Racy actually. What is happening in this green flag? It seems like Tinatan gets a 5-second penalty, and Ton is actually referred to as Tinatan. That is his. On the final lap, what can we see here? Charles is really ahead, but what can Real Light see? Real Light has an opportunity. He might go on the inside. Let's see what the apex can do. So on the apex, he hits the apex narrowly, and he is and Real Light and Charles, they both collide. What just happened there? And Tinatan also getting an advantage here, but that was short-lived. Real Light taking advantage. He is now on the inside, and that incident is now under investigation. But we're approaching the final lap. What can happen here? Slows down. And what? Oh, it's real light. Charles hits real light and forces Steventon. Steventon loses both front wheels. Can he reach the finish line? What happens here? Actually made his silhouette. What an insane race to come. Now for the standings after Boot and Bahrain. What can happen here now? What can we see? What is going to happen for the driver standings? Actually, Real Light is first and tied with Tiratan, and Charles is third with Sova in fourth, and the rest are really just low points actually. And what can we see for the constructor standings? They're also tied. Red Bull Racing, BMW, Red Bull Racing, and Scuderia Toro Rosso also tied, but it seems like Continental is chasing up with only a 6-point gap. And those are our current standings as of right now.